Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie, and while I keep saying I'm not going to become an ADHD specialist, you all seem to like the videos, so I'm just gonna keep making them and then we'll evolve from there. If you don't like them, you can tell me. If you do, fine. I've got a couple of different video ideas planned for different ADHD things. Like, for example, I'm going to do a part 2 to the video that I recently did, which was ADHD symptoms that people don't tell you about, or symptoms that you don't quite realize are ADHD but they 100% are, slash ADD as well. I'd like to stipulate that this covers kind of both, but that'll come in a different video, so make sure you are subscribed and comment down below if you also have any other things to add to any of those videos, or if you'd like to see any specific videos, put them down below because that will give me more of a reason to make them. I have wanted to jump on camera and make a couple more videos for a long time, but I've been really ill. I don't know if you can... I'm really like dry as well. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I've been so unwell for so long that I thought, oh, I'll just go on camera when this illness disappears, and doesn't seem to be disappearing at all, so I'll just come on the camera. So if I sound really weird, I apologize, but it is what it is. So one thing with ADHD that everybody hears is that it's so negative and like there's so many bad symptoms and bad things and it ruins your life and all that sort of stuff. This is in no means a video to detract from that whatsoever. Of course, there are debilitating symptoms that come with having ADHD or ADD, whether you're diagnosed, whether you're medicated, whether you're unmedicated, undiagnosed, and you think you may have the disorder. This video is going to be a little bit different because I'm kind of fed up with seeing so much negativity around about having it. And yes, like, there are bad things that come with it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, I hate when people say this, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to say it, but I hate when people say it. Having ADHD can kind of feel like having a superpower. You're not like a neurotypical person. Your brain does not work the same way that other people do, but that doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. So I've compiled a list of some of the things I consider to be the best parts of my ADHD and things I like about having ADHD that are actually really beneficial and really great things that add to me as a person. Now, these might apply to you, these might not apply to you, but let's flip the narrative around and let's just for today say that ADHD is the coolest thing to possibly have. Especially, it can be really scary when you've just had a diagnosis and all you can see is negativity surrounding, like, oh, this is all we have and these are our symptoms and we're stuck with these forever and this is all we're ever gonna be. Like, no. Let's talk about some of the greatest traits I've found and maybe you found about having ADHD slash ADD and why they make me feel good about myself and what I like about it. At number 1, the absolute best trait ever about my ADHD is that I'm that friend. I'm the go-to friend when, for lack of a better word, when shit hits the fan. In any emergency situation or any high pressure environment or any time that somebody just needs to step up and be like, oh my God, right, let's solve this, it's gonna be okay. I'm the one that can do that. I don't crumble, I don't falter. If it's to do with my own life, maybe, but if it's to do with anybody else, whether it's a work situation, a home situation, my family, my friends, if they need me to step up, I'm there. And my brain just switches onto it as well. And it's not even like, it's just immediate, straight into the highest physical gear you can go. I've got you. Here's your different options. Here's what we can do. Here's how we can fix this. The hyper-focus element, and also the fact that I spent countless hours researching things that I will never continue in life, have almost mentally prepared me to take on any situation that requires me to show up. We could be in a situation where, God forbid, there's just been a car crash, and instead of panicking and stressing and being like, oh my God, what do we do? Oh, the car's like, I don't know, I can immediately like shut all that noise out and I'm like, right, get out the car, let's do this, move to the side. It's almost like the crazy overload in my brain can suddenly streamline into just this one zone and one lane, and I can almost take that added pressure onto whoever's dealing with that situation and immediately remove it from them, find them a clear path forward, a clear strategy, and say, breathe, you take a second, I've got this. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how it happens. It's just this innate strength that only appears in times of extreme panic or extreme emergency, or not even emergency and panic. Somebody's going through a crisis and I'm there. So yeah, I might be late occasionally. I might forget their birthday unless I set a reminder until halfway through the day and then I'm like, oh yeah. But you know for a fact, I will make sure you are in the best possible situation next so you don't have to panic and worry about any of that. That's a pretty cool trait to have. And from my research online, I don't think I'm an anomaly with that. Some might see this as a strength, some might see this as a weakness. I don't know. I think it's an extreme strength, is that many people I've met with ADHD or ADD just have this incredible resilience about them. Which, let's be real, if you're having to constantly fight your own brain every single day for tasks and problems that normal people may have occasionally, but you have them to a detriment every single day, then you know how to get up and just get on with it. And sometimes table one thing, focus on another thing, you push back again and again, or you need to fix something because you forgot to do something. This applies to obviously any situation and kind of ties into the last one. The brain power and the resilience of people with ADD and ADHD is so inspiring. Yes, it might come from high pressure environments that lead to stress. That means we then have to like hole away for a few days and just kind of regain our life a bit back. But that kind of resilience, it's kind of like that cheesy saying about how a diamond is made under like intense pressure. Yes, it might take you a couple of times to get back up again, and you might need to fight a little bit harder than everybody else just to get what you want, or get to the next place, or get to a point of feeling calm and okay. But your resilience as someone with ADD/ADHD is absolutely incredible, unfathomable. So you should celebrate that. Celebrate the fact life can knock you down and you've got this. And it doesn't make it okay sometimes. Sometimes it'll be hard, and sometimes you'll lose the fact and the ability that you are resilient. But my God, you're resilient. Plus, after all, you have to learn how to do that to keep up with your multiple different entrepreneurship jobs that you have, or your different hobbies that you've suddenly invested in. Another third amazing element of having ADHD/ADD is that our brains don't think the same way as a lot of neurotypical people. So when it can come to being in a work environment or a home environment, very likely that you'll be the one person that can think outside the box. And not only can you think outside the box, I guarantee you're probably really good at coming up with hundreds of ideas. So yeah, you might not be good at executing them, but my God, you'll at least have thousands of different potential chances that you can see, and you can go, oh, we could do that, we could do that, we could do that. Now, a good person with ADHD needs somebody to rein them in and go, okay, now you've given me like 10,000 different ideas. Oh, I like the sound of 3. I'm gonna go with 3. There's something magical about being able to think outside the box and not just think the same way as everybody else. Plus, a lot of the big change in the world and the greatest things that have come from the big change in the world have been from people who didn't think the same way as everybody else. The way your brain thinks might not always be the best thing in the world. Sometimes it might suck to not just think like everybody else does, but actually the magic happens when you don't. So if you know somebody who's kicking themselves a little bit at the moment going, I wish it was as easy, I wish I was just like everybody else. No, you don't. Your brain is so special and so unique and so incredible. Use those ideas to help other people. My medications make me very like, I'm gonna have a video as well all about my Elvance, about my medication. Also, if you can hear like dry mouth, I really need to go get a drink, but basically it's a side effect of the meds. If you know, you know. I'm gonna have a video on that as well at some point. I'm planning on filming loads as well right now so I can edit them, get them all together, and then hopefully have a little bit more of a regular uploading schedule for you all, seeing as you now start, you know, actually watching the videos, which I'm really grateful for. And if you've made it this far, please like and comment below and tell me some of your positive strengths so that we can all build each other up. It's not all doom and gloom. One of the next best traits that I personally think I have with my ADHD is, yes, I am awful sometimes in public situations. I have a lot of rejection sensitive dysphoria, which if you don't know what that means, you can really struggle with asking a question to somebody, or writing a text, or sending a message, or say if you're in the shop and you need to just ask what aisle something's on, you'll overplay it in your head and go like, oh my God, they're gonna laugh at me. They're gonna laugh because I asked this. I don't want to do it. And then you kind of go into your like turtle backpack shell, and then some days you could go straight up to people and be like, hi, what aisle's this on? But one positive trait I've always found is that in a public setting where I'm required to speak to people, sometimes I can be ridiculously confident, overly confident, and I'm good. Sometimes I'm not. It depends what area I'm in. But one thing that can be guaranteed is that from all of my doom scrolling, researching about random things I'll never really properly look into, all of my different hobbies and interests and everything, I will always have a common ground conversation to have with anyone from any walk of life. It doesn't matter who you are, I will be able to find something in common with you. That's so great to have as a trait, to be able to go up to anybody, and you might need a couple of minutes, like suss them out and be like, is this my type of person? Can I talk to you? But I guarantee if you're anything like me, there's always something you can find where you have a knowledge and a base to run with that. It might be that your friendship is based off the fact that you both played Animal Crossing during COVID, but my God, you played it so much that you can talk to them about every single part of their village, and you can ask them questions and seem sincere and feel sincere because you can understand an element of their life. You might not know them all as a person, you might not be able to relate and be best friends with this person in a situation where you need to make a friend, or at least just have a friendly acquaintance conversation. You've got this. You know a million different things. Of course you've got this. You can adapt and change whenever you need to. Off the back of that, another trait that sometimes can be a downfall to us. So let's just try and see the positive side. People with ADHD/ADD quite a lot of the time can be very hyper-focused and aware of other people's emotions and how other people are feeling, acting, reacting. I believe there's a study somewhere that says there's a correlation between people with ADHD and empathy, which makes complete sense because I am so empathetic to anything and anyone. Like, I can look at an inanimate object and probably start crying about it because I feel like it looks like it's lonely. Don't know if anyone else does, just me. But off the back of that, you can then assess situations and probably are a lot more tuned into, hey, are you feeling okay today? And somebody's not okay. And then they're like, oh, they saw me even though I was kind of masking, or, you know, maybe it's a little bit of a tone in someone's voice or a little bit of a change or some kind of difference. Apologies if the setup looks different. My battery died and I should have known better to have it plugged in the full time because people with ADHD talk a lot. You can only imagine how long it takes me to edit all of these. Let's get back into it, shall we? Don't know where it cut off before, so if it is a little bit disjointed, that's why. But I'm just gonna go into the next ones because I cannot be bothered scrolling all the way back to try and find out what it was that I said. Another one would be that most of the time people who have ADHD have a pretty great sense of humor. Most of the time you're spent in your own head shouting at yourself, moaning at yourself, and then having to resiliently accept, move on, and get on with it and be like, look, I'm late. Like, I'm gonna be late. This is just how I am. So 9 times out of 10, from the self-deprecation that we give ourselves all the time, we're not very serious people, because if we were so serious and so focused, then we'd probably be able to have a little bit more of a grasp of our life than we actually do. You've got a pretty great sense of humor, that you always can see the funny in a situation. Obviously, sometimes things are a bit serious and then you need to, like, you know, be serious. It's a pretty great trait to have, that you can be an element of humor about situations and always be able to see the funny, or be the one that can be like, it's fine, you know, like, it could be worse. You could be like shouting at yourself every day to get up and being like, sometimes life just is what it is. Our brains got given to us for a reason because we were able to handle them, own it, laugh at it, laugh with it. But you'll always tend to find somebody with ADD/ADHD who can have a laugh. You're pretty good at being able to have a laugh, if not with yourself, with other people. Now, one of my biggest traits that I think is my absolute superhuman power, I can read at an astronomical rate. I can look at a page and I can quickly read it all as fast as possible and soak it in, at least for that moment. Sometimes if it's a really boring piece of text, I'm not gonna lie, it'll take me 10 different times of reading it again and again and again. But then I can read it really fast. I can match the level I'm talking with the level I'm reading. So an example for me is that I work for a gaming news media company, and they make a lot of videos that I have to sign off and view and quickly read the text to make sure that they are spelled correctly, that the script matches up with the rest of the content, that there is no slanderous messages, stuff like that. I get sent a lot of videos per day that I have to sign off. I have an incredible team that are really good at what they do and really fast at it, so I couldn't watch them all at a normal speed every single day because I would have no time to do anything else whatsoever. So one of my traits is that I can read at like 2 times, 3 times speed on the screen and be like, yep, okay, signed off. And as well, if I'm hyper-focused and I'm really into a book or really into something that's text, you best believe I'm gonna read it there and then that night, or as fast as possible. When I'm in the frame of mind where I'm really enjoying reading and really enjoying certain books and certain text, the amount I go through reading-wise is incredible. Like, my ability to absorb and quickly read words and letters, that's a really great trait that I enjoy. It's also the same as talking. I can't get to the point. That's the whole reason why these videos are as long as they are. I can talk for England. There will be no dead space when I'm in the room. Don't you worry about it. There's never going to be an experience where everybody sat silently and awkwardly, because I will fill that space and I will make sure that there is no quiet whatsoever. Say my friends are hosting a party and they're inviting family friends and they know it's gonna be a little bit awkward because it's a new situation. Not only will I find things in common with everyone, I'll just keep talking. I won't stop talking, and that will encourage everybody else to talk. Also, back on the resilience but also self-deprecating humor level, sometimes as long as my RSD isn't playing up, you want to go and get on the dance floor, but you don't want to wait till everybody else is on the dance floor, I'm there. Especially if somebody I'm with, you can see that they want to do it, but they're not quite able to just make the push. I'll make an idiot out of myself. I don't care. As long as I know you're gonna have a good time and that your experience is gonna be benefited from it. If I look silly for for a couple of seconds, it really doesn't bother me. To be able to just ignore the noise of, oh, but what if somebody thinks this about me? Not all the time. Disclaimer, a lot of the time the anxiety sets in and I'll do it. But if like, especially for me, if it's anything to do with me, I can't do it. But if I see somebody I love really wants to do something and they're a bit nervous, don't quite know what to do it, don't want to start, don't want to be the first person to do this and this, and I'll do it. I'll go and jump and do it for you. As long as it means you'll join me and you'll get to actually do what you want it to do. And in the interest of trying to keep this video a short and sweet one, I don't know if I have though, I'll know that when I've edited, I'm gonna give you one more really, really positive, fantastic ADHD trait that I've personally found. Sometimes can be a bad thing, but let's spin it. Spin it and make it a great thing. I am always leaving little presents for future Katie to find. Now, past Katie and present Katie sometimes can be a little bit stressed out at not being able to find these certain things, or maybe like, it would have been ideal to have that in that moment. Future Katie, here you go. Where you do something and then completely forget about it and then discover it a bit later and you're like, thank you, past Katie, for remembering that future Katie might benefit from this. Examples of this may be money in your pocket or in a bag that you took on a night out that you've forgotten to take apart. You've just kind of dropped it on the side and forgot about that bag until the next time you go out. Sometimes I'll leave sweets just chilling. Sometimes I'll put things away. I'll look for them. Not important things. Obviously important things I've created tools like keys and stuff like that where I don't forget where they are. If it's gonna cause me stress, I will immediately remember where I put it. Well, I'll try. But you know, a couple of quid in your pocket, some sweets, some chewing gum, booking a ticket to something that you forgot to put in your calendar, and then all of a sudden you get a notification or an email going, you're expected to be here on this day, and you are actually free for it, and you're like, I forgot all about that. Thank you, past Katie, for treating me to something that you knew I would enjoy and completely forget about. They're some of my favorite things about having ADHD. There are so many more positive traits. These are just mine. These are just what I like about my mental condition and how I can kind of spin it and see that, yes, all of those are tied to things that could be negative, but actually, I kind of love that about me. I kind of love those certain elements, and the most important one to me is how I show up to other people. So if you know anybody is currently struggling a little bit with their diagnosis or potential diagnosis, and all they can see is doom and gloom and all the bad things about having ADHD and all these bad symptoms that they've discovered about themselves, show them this video and remind them that they're a badass. Having a diagnosis like this, or thinking you might have ADD/ADHD, isn't doom and gloom. There's ways that you can always find the positives. And like I said, I hate it being called a superpower, but this is your superpower, so roll into it. Please put in the comments below any positive, great traits, any things that people love about you that are your little ADHD quirk. Continue to uplift on this video especially, because we need more of this. We need more positivity around ADHD, and if it takes me making this video, then I will do it. And I guarantee you I will be making a part 2 to this, because there are so many more incredible, amazing traits that come along with your ADHD/ADD diagnosis. Now, because more of you have arrived since my last couple of videos, I will do my utmost best to ensure that there is regular posting on this channel. So please don't forget to like this video so that other people can see it too, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more about ADHD content, or even just general content, which I am going to be trying to post as well. I need to get out of my own head and stop like procrastinating on making content, so the more you comment and the more you engage and ask me to make stuff, the more it'll feed my dopamine, and I will be like, right, I've got this for you, I'll do this for you. So any questions, any other video ideas, anything at all, put it down below and I'll be there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.